Hey, I'm Shawn Kanungo. This is another episode of Dangerous Ideas. We break down concepts and frameworks that will change your life. Hey guys, my name is Shawn Kanungo. This is another episode of Dangerous Ideas. We made it to episode 14. Listen, most podcasts don't make it to episode 10. And we're here on episode 14. In this podcast, what we do is we break down concepts that will change your life, change your career, change your business, but most importantly, change your life. And I'm really excited. We got a special guest in the building all the way from Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, Rahul Bhatia, founder of Ghosted, a dear friend of mine. Thank you for coming through, man.
I'm here. You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
And by the way, an avid listener of Dangerous Ideas.
Very avid. Right from episode
First thing
1.
that he said when he was watching the podcast, he's like, why am I holding a mic? You don't like the holding the
I'm
mic?
still asking the same question.
Okay.
14 episodes in.
Listen.
Now I'm here in person and I got to hold the mic.
Listen, you know, the first 100 episodes, people just they just want the context of the podcast, okay?
You're not even expecting people to listen to it until you're past 100.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
100 on the 100th episode,
Yeah.
we're going to have
The floodgates.
The floodgates will open.
Yeah.
Well, so this is we haven't even figured out by the way, this is the first time that we painted the studio a couple days ago white because we're changing the aesthetics of this. We want this to be a little bit more cleaner, a little bit more, I would say, vibier, modern. So we want to change the look of it, and you're gonna see. I'm gonna wear different things too. It's gonna be great. But this podcast is about dangerous ideas, and I thought I would throw a whole bunch of dangerous ideas at you, and I want you to reflect. So this is the first dangerous idea.
Yeah.
And it's called the Jaydeep Kanungo hack. Okay. My brother, Jaydeep, that you know very well, he moved to Victoria, and you guys became closer in that city. One of the greatest hacks in life is to not fall into a status trap.
Yeah.
Right? You don't get into you don't get into a trap of getting the nicest clothes or the nicest car or the nicest sneakers. And as human beings, we are hardwired to fall into these traps. We are hardwired to sort of keep up with the Joneses in a way.
Yeah.
My brother, I don't know how this has happened. My brother, God bless him, he hasn't fallen into any trap. He wants to avoid any trap possible, okay? He wants to be left alone. He doesn't want any attention at all. And it's just remarkable to see him navigate the world, not falling into any traps at all. But I believe that's actually one of the greatest hacks in the world, is to not fall into those traps. I don't know, growing up, did you ever feel that you fell into some of these traps, or what traps are you into now? Like what traps? Because everybody's in some sort of trap. So I want to know what trap you're into.
Expensive watches now.
Wow.
I really want. I want to start buying expensive watches.
You really want to buy?
Yeah, and I haven't bought them. But
I love that he admits. He's like, I really want to.
But my TikTok, I'm always researching different expensive watches, and I don't know if I want it because of how it'll make me look versus how it'll make me feel. I don't know if I want it as a vanity thing or a personal trophy.
And
I don't know yet.
And I think that's the thing with these status traps, is that are you doing it for, inherently you're doing it because of your own happiness. You're going to enjoy it. But part of that enjoyment is to also flex it, right?
Yeah.
Because at home, are you wearing the watches?
Right.
Are you wearing the watch at home? It's just like jewelry.
No, yeah, you're right.
Are you wearing the watch at home? But when you go out, that's where you want to wear it and flex.
Okay, I'll give you an example of something I've been playing with in my mind over the last little while. Okay, so my wife, Indu, I love you. She bought me these Hugo Boss sneakers.
Okay.
I love them. Do I love them extra because they're Hugo Boss, or do I love them extra because they're from my dear wife, or do I love how they feel? Do they make me walk faster?
Yeah.
Right. And so I wear them, and I'm like, oh yeah, I got my new Hugo Boss sneakers, amazing. and then I flew here, row 21 out of the 23 seats the WestJet plane had.
Yeah.
And the first, like, it's a small plane, the first 3 rows were WestJet's new first class, and like not a brand name in sight, right?
Yes.
And then I'm thinking to myself, like, what's the real flex?
Yes.
Me walking to the back row of the plane with my Hugo Boss sneakers, or the people flying in first class that just don't care.
Right.
Right.
Well, that is the biggest flex.
Yeah.
The biggest flex is to not flex.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
The biggest flex is to like show up to a conference with a hoodie and then.
It's the emergence of quiet luxury, right?
I don't think it's quite luxury. I think it's just like when you're a known property.
Yeah.
Then when people know that you have a certain level of wealth.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to flex it.
Right.
Right. In most situations, you're entering into something where, I don't know, people don't know you, so you inherently feel like you have to flex.
You're right. And people.
So let's get. I want to get into the watches.
Yeah, get into.
So, the watch trap that you're into, do you think it's a detriment though in your life? The fact that I don't even know how much watches cost.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming they're very expensive. I mean, you mentioned they're expensive.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's a trap in a way? Like, do you want to get out of it, or is it's like you're just now looking at other people's watch? Like, you're wearing a watch. I have no idea what that is. You could be wearing a Casio. Is that? I don't know. You could be wearing a Casio. I wouldn't even know. Right.
Yeah.
And but now you're looking at other people's watches. People are looking at your watch.
Like, this is a nice watch. This is a nicer watch than my other watches, but is it?
I wouldn't know.
But is it of the level of the watches that I want to start buying? No. But do I want to buy those things as personal trophies? I don't know the answer to that question yet.
Right.
All I know is maybe right now it's a detriment because I'm wasting valuable time just watching random TikToks and YouTube videos about nice watches when I could be doing other things of value. But I don't know the answer to that question.
Right. Well, if you don't know the answer to the question, then maybe you should be evaluating if it's going to provide value in your life.
You're not wrong.
Same thing with, you mentioned your brother has a nice car too, right?
Yeah.
Is he into cars? Like that might be a trap that he might be into.
He's into nice cars. He likes nice cars.
He's like nice cars.
Yeah.
But he likes the feeling of the nice car.
He likes the feeling of a nice car. He says it gives him a sense of confidence when he's driving a nice car.
Yes.
It's a personal reward. It's an accomplishment.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think sneakers, watches, cars. I'm trying to think about other traps. There are traps out there that
there are traps
that the reason why I say it's the greatest hack, I don't disagree that people they find value in these things. I can see that, but
I have a shoe problem. I have over 100 pairs of shoes.
You have 100 pairs of shoes.
If you want to get into that,
yeah, you mentioned that. You really like nice shoes.
Yeah, I have a lot of pairs of shoes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I guess you're okay with it. Like, this is not a dangerous idea. You're like, I'm okay with getting into these traps.
I think
you're okay with it. You are anti JD Kanungo.
Yeah, but okay. There's even a flaw in the JD Kanungo situation.
Okay.
Here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell me the flaw.
I'll tell you. Your brother, who has never once fallen into one of these traps, right?
Yes.
Never say never, because he did fall into one once.
Right. Which is what?
When he first moved there to Victoria.
Yes.
And he's making decisions on his own. He's excited. Calls me one day, let's go to the BMW dealership.
Yeah.
And leases a car. Oh, yes. Dr. Kanungo in the house. Right? After signing everything, how much was it again?
Right.
And he, for the next while, felt amazing driving this car.
Right.
He said it made him feel like Harvey Specter.
Wow.
This was direct words from JD Kanungo. But because of who he is as an individual,
interesting.
Over time, the idea of I'm driving my new Beamer, it just disappeared. And he's like, you know how much gas this thing takes?
Right. And that's, I guess that is, so so that's amazing.
Yeah.
So he did fall into the trap, but maybe the Beamer is a nice car, right?
It was a very nice car. Yeah.
Because for example, like the iPhone to me, this is a nice product.
Yeah.
But it's not a flex.
Yeah.
Because it's like to me, that's way more of a utility than anything else.
Right.
And everything has utility. Like a car has utility.
Yeah.
And a nice Beamer, is a nice car. It actually feels nice to drive, and
Right.
I totally get that.
Yeah.
But a lot of people also buy a Beamer to flex, and I don't know what it was in JD's case, but
Yeah. I think it was excitement.
yeah.
Yeah.
But do you ever feel a pressure though to keep up with the Joneses, or do you feel a pressure to keep up with, like, now that you're in a particular trap? Do you feel a pressure to stay? Like let's say you're in the watch game now.
Yeah.
Now you're looking at other people with watches, and they know
Yeah.
that you have a nice watch.
Yeah.
Is there a pressure to get the nice watch?
I've kind of fallen out of that. I used to actually have the mindset. I used to go, oh, so-and-so has this, so-and-so has that, right? And I've kind of fallen out of that. I just kind of want to be, like, even as an individual, I just want nicer things than I had yesterday. I want to do better things than I did yesterday. I want to achieve greater things than I achieved yesterday. And I've stopped looking at what other people have as a reference point of measuring where I am in life.
Yeah.
I've kind of stopped doing that. So, but I used to feel.
Do you feel like
inside.
social media amplified that in a way?
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, if you go on social media, whether it's LinkedIn or Instagram, like, it could be super just, it's an entire, like, trap. The whole thing is a trap. It's just a feed of traps.
Right. Yeah.
Thirst traps.
Yeah.
Watch traps.
Yeah.
It's just traps.
Everything traps you.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. Yeah. Yeah. I stopped following a lot of accounts.
Okay.
Of all this, like, vanity, luxury stuff.
Yeah.
I stopped following a lot of it. And I just kind of stick to social now as a way of networking with friends and putting some funny stuff on my stories and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I've just kind of, but I've stopped using social to showcase a whole bunch of stuff to myself that just takes up space in my head, and it turns me into this individual that's like, oh, I need this kind of car, I need this kind of a house, I need this, right. So I've got rid of all that stuff off my social.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. For me, like, the trap for me, I think content is the trap. I mean, to me, content is the most, obviously, I listen to this pod, people know this, like, I believe so heavily in content and putting out your ideas. And to me, like, I spend a lot of money and a lot of time and resources and effort to make sure that this is beautiful.
Right.
To make sure that this is aesthetically beautiful, that the content that I put out is awesome and it looks awesome externally. Because I discovered a trick earlier on. And the trick is, when something looks good, people they accept the message easier. They're able to absorb the message easier. And I learned this very early in business when I started to make, like, PowerPoint decks for businesses. I remember working for a company, Singapore Press Holdings. I would create these, like, really beautiful decks. Well, first I would create these really terrible decks, and then I wouldn't change any of the content. I would just make it more beautiful, and people would receive the message better. And I thought to myself, this is an incredible hack. And then going forward, just in working in management consulting, I realized that creating something that's beautiful can actually change people's perspectives. I remember a kid came up to me, he was working underneath me, and the client hated his deck. He hated the ideas. And I said, dude, I'm going to say this with peace and love. Your content is amazing, but you have to present it in a way that people will receive it.
Yeah.
And so all he did, we worked on the aesthetics. He changed it, same information, presented it back to the client, and they were like, this is amazing.
Right.
I've seen that time and time and time again. So whenever I'm posting content, I don't even know if it's trap, but it's part of business. But, like, I love it. I love the trap.
So
I don't know if it's a trap.
No. Shawn, you're taking something that's existed for a long time in other industries, right?
Right.
Like, I dabbled in the restaurant industry. I had 2 restaurants, one for 10 years, one for 5 years.
Yep.
And my dad comes from the food industry, and one of the golden rules is a customer eats with their eyes before they eat with their mouth. It's got to look amazing.
100%.
Right? It has to look amazing. And then you actually have a larger margin of error for little mistakes afterwards, right? But it's the aesthetics got to be on point.
Yeah.
And so that principle is you're just carrying it over to what you do, and it obviously is very true. It's true in so many scenarios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, well, I'm glad that you're on that, but I'm trying to avoid, like, I want to drive my beat up van,
Yeah.
my 2013 Toyota Sienna for the rest of my life. I want to. I don't want to own a watch. I don't want to own any sneakers. I want to just like shop at Uniqlo, and just like continue my life and just
So the car thing, I've always wanted. Oh, I want to daily drive a Porsche 911. Oh, I want a Rolls Royce. I want this. I want that. And like I'm gonna go buy a new Hyundai on the weekend, and I'm loving it. I'm so excited. And then over the last probably 3-4 months, I've started noticing minivans on the road.
Hey,
you, Jeff, my friend Chris, Chris.
Yep.
You guys have minivans.
Yes.
And you guys are all about the minivan life.
We love the minivan life.
When you have kids, being able to literally remove a wall of your vehicle to put the kids in and out. I get it. I get it, right?
That's what I mean.
And I'm looking at that, and I notice minivans now more than I notice like luxury or sports cars. And Indu, she's like, who the heck are you? Who is this individual?
You're changing.
I'm changing.
Love
so
it.
with cars, like there you go.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, listen, okay, we talked about that. So, listen, you're actually the first person that I'm speaking to on the pod after I just dropped my special. We had an amazing party a couple nights ago, the Bold Ones party, and that's why I actually came out to this party. And one of the concepts that I want to bring up, and it's in my book, The Bold Ones, which is this idea of a lightning strike, that you need to be able to double down on something that catches people's attention, that is bold, that's brave, that is a larger bet.
Yeah.
And this is how you continue to sort of engineer a hot streak. And to me, doing an event for this digital product, which is the special, was actually really important to me, because to me it was a lightning strike to bring folks together tangibly in person, bring creators across the country to this particular event so that we can share the moment in person to signal to the world, hey, this thing is out.
Yeah.
Because my thesis is that if I had just announced, hey, and I put a poster of the thing and I put it out in the world, I just don't think that it would catch the attention. I just believe that everyone is just like, they're scrolling, they're sitting on the toilet, they're scrolling, they're clicking, they're grazing, they're looking at headlines, they're not looking deep into anything.
Yeah.
And to have a moment and to just get people to pause and see people share things out from this particular event, again, making it aesthetically beautiful. To me, this is a lightning strike.
Yeah.
And I want to continue to do that through my career, is to like stop people for a second. So what do you think about this concept and just a reflection, maybe even on the night?
I think you're paving a way. No one is doing and no one has done what you are doing, okay? So first off, I want to say congratulations on everything you've done.
Thank you.
You are a freaking superstar. You're a rocket ship.
Thank you.
No one knows where you're going, but you're going to accomplish greater and greater things in your life, like huge things. So you're the man,
brother.
Right? Everyone buy The Bold Ones, the book. Everyone rent or at least rent, if not purchase, the movie.
Yes.
Apple TV, Amazon Prime
Look at this
Video.
guy. Hype man.
Right?
Let's go, baby.
So you have to do it.
Hype
you have
man.
to do it. And subscribe to everything on the internet that has Shawn Kanungo's name on it.
100%.
Okay? Including this podcast. But everything, follow this guy. Okay. So I love you. You are doing amazing things.
Appreciate it.
Lightning strike. It was so key the way you did this. But it's also so in line with your brand. It's so in line with your brand. Your brand is all about you making these amazing entrances in front of people and then delivering a crazy amount of value that they didn't even have a dream of. They couldn't even dreamt of. Because you come at things with these from these wild tangents. You have these amazing takes on situations and where the world is going and where tech is going. And so the way you threw this, it was awesome. There was the conventional way to do it, which was throw it up, YouTube ads, Google AdWords, Meta ads, blah, 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 right? And just drive traction to the to Apple TV and Amazon or to a landing page where they can go. These are the conventional ways to get traffic, right?
Yes.
That's not you, man.
No.
This is your lightning strike.
Yes.
Right? And you know what? If after you've done something like this, you want to go ahead and do some of the conventional digital, that'll only amplify the fact that you've already done this thing.
Right.
Right? So I actually think the evening was amazing. I'm glad I flew in for it.
Yeah,
I'm glad,
appreciate you.
Glad I was a part of it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But no, I think the lightning strike idea is really smart because there's so much noise now in the world. There's so much noise. Wherever you go, there's so much noise. You have to start doing crazy, bold, innovative things to capture people's attention.
And exactly. And that's why I want to do it because, and I feel like you almost have to do things that are in person in order to get people's attention. Because I feel like doing something that's pure play digital is just like, people know that it's easy to do.
Yeah.
I feel like, for example, putting on an event now in a world that is like 24/7, digital, AI driven.
Yeah.
You know, it's very easy to put something on digital.
Right.
But to put on an event or do something in person is just like to get people out of their house. It just looks hard. You know what I mean?
It looks difficult, but the theatrics around it that are then amplified by the digital efforts of all of the people that are there.
Yes.
Right? That is where the explosion is.
Yes.
Right?
So, before coming to the lightning strike, what were your ideas of what we would do? Or like you had no idea what we were going to do or what we were going to expect. And
you kept it mysterious though. You kept it kind of.
I did. Yes.
Yeah.
I said I did say I wasn't going to play the whole thing. I was going to play the whole film at the premiere, which is kind of stupid. But I just didn't. I felt like the vibe of the night was people want to take pictures.
Yeah.
They want to have fun. They want to chat.
Yeah.
They wanted to just be part of the moment, right? Not necessarily for the film, but just like they wanted to be part of the experience. And I wanted to like limit the talk, like just like a 7-minute talk. Limit Q&A. I didn't even. I let my producers Mo and Mazen.
Yeah.
I let them cook. I didn't even speak that much in the Q&A.
Right. Yeah.
Because I just wanted it to be done.
Yeah.
Formalities to be done, so that everybody could just enjoy the experience of the night and being together with other creators and folks that were just like supporting this like thing.
You're very right, and it was done very well. People want to be attached to something though, right? So, you know, like one of the things that happened organically that you didn't, maybe you started it, but you didn't plan for this, was for a solid hour of the night was just a lineup of people trying to have a conversation with you.
Right. Get a picture,
conversation. And you gave everybody FaceTime. You gave everybody an actual token of Shawn Kanungo that they could take with them. Right? Pictures of them in basically what looks like a private dialogue with you, with a beautiful backdrop because there was no one else around, just the lineup and then the whole party happening. And then so everyone has that little nugget, a little token, a little souvenir of Shawn Kanungo. Right? That they are also using to amplify you and your brand because they're posting even just that on their own social. I was doing it.
Yeah, no, of course.
Right?
And you know, that was part of the idea of making it. You know, I've never seen an event where more people. I mean, obviously I'm biased because I get all the content. I've never seen an event where people posted as much content as I saw a couple of days ago. Yeah, it was incredible. It was just it was insane. Yeah. So, and part of the reason is because it looked great, and shout out to I didn't design that. I hired people to do that. Sarah Valencia from Our Genre Events was the orchestrator of that. But and she was incredible. But that was the reason. And you know, we have a couple other lightning strikes cooking for the special and just getting it, which I'm gonna get your idea. I'm gonna get your hot take around, not on the pod. This is like a
Sure.
We have a viral idea that we have cooking that we're going to probably launch tomorrow.
Okay.
That super, super excited about.
All right.
Could be a bust. Actually, I shouldn't even talk about it. It's just a moonshot.
Okay.
It could be a complete bust.
Okay, well, I look
But,
forward to talking to you about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, lightning strike. So the next idea that I want to chat with you about, dangerous idea. It's actually something that Deepa, my wife, has been practicing for a very long time. But there's this great thought leader, tweeter. His name is George Mack. He recently sort of talked about this, which is having two phones: a cocaine phone,
Yeah.
which is what most people have, and a kale phone. A cocaine phone
'Kay.
and a kale phone.
'Kay.
So Deepa does this. Deepa has a cocaine phone where that's like all your Instagram, your Twitter, your TikTok. It has all the social media notifications.
Yeah.
Just has all the crap. The Netflix has
Yeah.
all that cocaine, right?
Yeah.
That gives you that dopamine hit. And then she has a kale phone, which is basically, her notes, reading stuff, no social media, and she carries around these two phones. And I think part of the reason why I think Deepa has been more present is because she can separate the kale phone and the cocaine phone, because we all need the cocaine phone. Unfortunately, what's happened is that we've all become addicted to our phones. But what do you think of this idea of having two phones, the kale phone and the cocaine phone?
So about 6 months ago, I turned off notifications for almost all my apps
Wow.
on my phone. I forget. I just saw a random clip somewhere of someone saying that if your phone has to always alert you to look at it, then what are you doing with your day?
Right.
Right? Because of all the apps that we have on our phone, there could literally be something alerting us 24/7.
Yes.
Right? And so I turned it off and I said, if I need to seek something, then I will look at my phone, with the exception of email, WhatsApp, individual messages, and texts. I don't even have notifications for group messages on. All right.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's bold.
So it is bold. So I think this is actually a good idea. It's a spin-off of kind of what I was already
Right.
thinking with my phone, but actually having two phones, I think that's a great idea.
Well, I know lots of people, what they do is they have they take their cocaine phone and they
Yeah.
just like convert some of that to their desktop.
Right.
So if you go on Twitter or Insta
Yeah.
or TikTok or whatever, they use that on their actual computer.
Yeah.
And they keep their phone light.
Yeah.
I think these are great hacks that I have not implemented at all. I need to. And I think this has been my biggest barrier.
Yeah.
Is that I'd love to be plugged in.
Yeah.
I love to be responsive.
Yeah.
I'm the most like I will, if you text me, if you call me, I will try to get back to you as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I keep my read receipts on just so that people know that I'm there.
Right.
Like I want to be the most reliable person ever.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is, but that's why I need to be plugged in. I don't know why.
Well, you're a rare individual that can seem to be there when someone needs a sounding board or a friend or some advice or help with something. You were there for all of it. Plus, you accomplish 8 other million things in your day. Going back to this idea of
I
two
don't know
phones.
about that, but yeah.
No, or you make it look like you do. But
Definitely make it look like I do because I don't.
But here's the thing: the two phone thing. So the cocaine phone and the kale phone, right? Does that, because the cocaine phone is still full of stuff that just captivates you all the time,
Yeah.
and takes brain power.
Yeah.
Does that not then interfere a little extra with your day or with Deepa's day, having two phones? Because she's still on her devices.
I think it's just like I don't know how for Deepa. I think it's like, to me, it's like you are what you consume.
Yeah.
Right. So if you are consuming kale,
Yeah.
you're feeding your mind with goodness essentially.
Right.
And if you can have most of your day with goodness, then that should be fine. But then at some point you want to just sniff that cocaine, I guess.
Right.
You're that
Right.
cocaine.
Yeah.
No, I get what you're
It's there.
saying. Actually, it would be great
Yeah.
if your entire day was just kale. Most people can't do that.
Right.
And and in my case, unfortunately, I can't do that. I don't know why. I just can't. I can't turn off the cocaine.
Well, I don't.
Somebody's gonna clip this and be like, Shawn is on cocaine.
No, there's got to be a balance, though, right? Like if your entire day was kale,
Right.
Sometimes the best ideas that you can implement kind of come to you when you're going through the cocaine stuff,
Interesting.
right?
I would say most
Unexpectedly,
of the
something hits
ideas
you.
come from when you don't have the kale and you don't have the cocaine. You just like, you have nothing. You have an empty plate.
No phone,
No phone.
nothing,
Nothing.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's when you get the best ideas.
Yeah.
In fact, the most dangerous time to like come up with ideas is when you're just like,
Yeah.
you have nothing going on.
But-
no podcasts. You have nothing.
Do you find most people fear themselves, though?
I think that's
why?
they fear their own thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. I think
But we
so.
need to be able to do that a little bit more. So you're a proponent of it, but you're not going to do it.
I'm not gonna.
I'm not going to do it either. This is a dangerous. Listen, not every single dangerous idea
Yeah.
is implementable.
I-
I'm just here to bring them up.
I think it's a good idea for Deepa. I'm just gonna stick to how I'm doing it. I just
Yeah.
Turn off. But I go through down
So,
these rabbit
but I
holes,
want to
right?
ask you because you're an owner of a content marketing company,
Yeah.
which is you're like
Yeah.
in the business of you're a
Right.
cocaine dealer.
Yeah. I'm a cocaine dealer. Yes.
Yeah. So, in a sense, like, don't you want people to be more plugged in and, consuming the content that you and your team are producing?
Yeah. But that's why we are strategic in how we deliver content, right?
What do you mean?
You got to figure out how you get to your audience. If your audience are people that are not always dialed in, then you got to know when and how to reach them.
Yeah.
And if your audience are people that are always dialed in, then you got to ramp up the impressions and drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think in a world with generative AI, the cost of creativity, the cost of code,
Yeah.
the cost of content
Yeah.
is going down to zero.
Yeah.
So the ability to put out content is, we're just going to be inundated with content.
Yeah.
So as a content marketing guy,
Yeah.
what are the downsides of this, and actually how it's going to impact your business too?
Okay. So there's a couple ways to look at this, right?
Okay.
Every time there's a new platform or there's
There's a technological shift.
Yeah, I mean, we get inundated with content, right? There's always, no matter, even if you go back 10 or 15 years, there's always been so much noise. Even if you go back before the internet and there's just TV commercials, right? So many TV commercials. You're always going to have to find a way to make that noise, right? That to help you stand out, no matter what.
Right.
Okay, no matter what. So if now we just have a technology that enables us to deliver insane amounts of content at no cost, at lightning speed, then we have to do a better job as humans of finding ways to be more creative,
Right.
to reach audiences, right? And I think all this is doing is teaching us more and more, and you've talked about this before, and it's something I believe, which is you have to find very strategic ways to get to your very niche audience.
Yes.
No longer can we just be wide, because then we just contribute to the noise.
Right.
Right? We got to be very specific, targeted, strategic, and go to a very niche audience.
100%.
And deliver create content that resonates with that specific audience.
Right. So then how do you do that? How do you make it more personalized? I guess you just have to put in way more effort and know your audience
Exactly.
better.
Way more effort and way more analysis of your audience. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think AI is do you think AI can help us do that, I guess?
I think AI is here to stay and grow.
Yeah.
And there's those of us that subscribe to the fact that it's a tool in our tool belt and we have to know how and when to utilize it. And there are those that think that it's just going to run us over. And with every new technology, those are always the two camps.
Yeah.
How do I use the technology? Or, oh no, the technology is going to run me over. I'm out of work,
Yeah.
right? And those of us that can figure out how to harness the power of any new tech that comes out, we seem to just be able to survive a little longer,
Right.
thrive, right? So it's no different with AI. I mean, I have writers. We use ChatGPT.
Yeah.
We use ChatGPT. I'm not afraid to say it, right?
Of course. Why
wouldn't we?
By the way, like,
Right? But
everybody should use it as a starting point.
or not just that, it's a way to prevent writer's block, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to write a 1,200 word blog post, you get to 1,100 words and you're just stumped.
Yeah.
You could literally take a paragraph and throw it in ChatGPT and say, turn this 100 word paragraph into 200 words, right? And then the writer just has to take it and finesse it a bit and do his or her thing.
I think what's happening is that the role of the editor is becoming way more important than the role of the writer. You know, as the writer used to be the sort of the king, right?
Yeah.
And the editor was like the help.
Yeah.
But I think what's happening is that the writer and the editor are now both equal. And we need to treat them as such, because it's way more. This is in terms of writing. I think this is like when I wrote the book, my editor, the editors actually were amazing, incredible, but I think things have shifted a little bit. I think the editor has to take more nuanced or approaches to be like, is this compelling enough? Is this specific enough? Is this personalized enough? Like, they have to be bolder. They're not the ones just editing. They have to think with the audience in mind as well.
Yeah.
It's not just grammar and punctuation. It's like, is this shit good?
So it takes a lot of work with AI. It takes a lot of prompting skills, right, to get AI to write content the way a human mind thinks when it comes to delivering the personality and the feeling of a brand.
Yeah.
Right. And so I don't think we're there yet where AI will sit and talk to so-and-so at brand X the way a writer would, and then really absorb the feeling of the brand and the intent behind the pieces of content that need to be written. So I don't think we're at the point where a writer is actually devalued. I think AI is just a tool for a writer to scale or prevent writer's block or make their lives just a little bit easier.
So where do you think this is going as somebody that is thinking and deeply about content marketing?
Yeah.
Where do you think, and I keep on saying content marketing, do you reference yourself as like a content marketer?
So I'm really passionate about another branch of digital marketing. So we predominantly operated as a content marketing agency for SMBs. Okay, our sweet spot was the 5 to 50.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where we've lived for the last 7 years. But there's this concept of employee advocacy that is really just is like got me feeling like I'm on cocaine.
What is employee advocacy?
Employee advocacy is the idea of an organization turning their employees into advocates of the company, and it's all based around one simple statement. And you've actually said this before: the individual is now louder than the brand.
Yeah.
Right. So companies are starting to realize that, and realize that it's on them to now arm their staff with content to build their personal brands.
Yes.
Which will build the individual's credibility, and then
100%
build the brand's credibility. And the onus is on the individual to utilize these programs, employee advocacy programs the brands are implementing, to build their personal brands. And the bonus is that you may think as an individual in an organization, oh, I got to share all this spammy content from my company. But if done right, it's not spammy content. It's thought leadership content and that kind of thing. But if you as an individual are taking steps to build your personal brand, well, guess what? If you quit company X and you go work for company Y, your personal brand goes with you.
Yeah.
Your audience goes with you. Your network goes with you. Right. So
I'm a supporter of this. Yeah.
I know you're a supporter of this.
I think I don't know who coined the idea of employee advocacy.
So
because I don't like that title.
Yeah.
And I don't run into it a lot.
Yeah.
But I fundamentally believe, to me, it's employees as creators.
Right.
And maybe that's the dangerous idea. But to me, that every single employee should think of themselves as a creator, not only for them to, help their organization, but say, what can I create for this organization whether it's content, whether
Yeah.
it's like whatever we're building, and share those ideas more openly.
Right.
Like that's a concept that I maybe because I obviously I fall in a bubble.
Yeah.
Most people don't even know what a creator is, but yeah.
Yeah.
Where's employee advocacy come from? Where's this term come from?
I don't know where the term has come from, but it used to be an HR term, okay? Employee advocacy used to be an HR term. It used to be how do you advocate for the employees in a large organization so they have their rights and so forth, right? And over the I'd say the last while, maybe a couple of years or so, we've seen it shift to a digital marketing term. And so if you Google like employee advocacy programs or platforms, it's you'll find just technology, like software platforms to run these EA programs.
Yeah.
But I would say employee advocacy or employees as creators is a sleeping giant in the digital
100%.
marketing world because people really don't understand the idea. Like, how do you go to the CEO or CMO or whatever of like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 person organization and say to them, hey, look, all the work you've done up till now on your brand, guess what, means next to nothing if you're not focusing on the individuals within your brand.
Who's doing this well? Which company is doing this well?
So in terms of professional creative services, you don't really see like agencies doing employee advocacy. You see Ghosted, ghosted.co. You see Ghosted doing it.
Right.
Okay. We're doing it, but it's early days. In terms of software platforms, you see the major players like Octopost, Gigalamp, and there's a whole bunch of them now that have started to come up onto the scenes, and we are.
So there's no brands or companies that are real. That's what I mean. Like,
who's doing it well?
Yeah.
So Dell does a really good job of
Okay.
employee advocacy. Dell does a really good job. Microsoft has a great employee advocacy program. There's a few big brands out there that are doing.
What's funny is a lot of organizations, and I've been doing a lot more of this, which is like, I've been doing a lot more brand deals.
Yeah.
And what I realized is that their employees can't advocate because they don't have a brand.
Yeah.
So they're like, this guy, Shawn Kanungo,
right?
He's got a brand when it comes to innovation.
Yeah.
Let's bring him in
Yeah.
to build content for us.
Right.
And it's great for my brand.
Yeah.
Because it continues to further reinforce that I'm the innovation guy.
Yeah.
And it also creates a halo for that company.
Yeah.
So I guess, in lieu of hiring Shawn Kanungo
Right.
to be the advocate for your company,
Yeah.
you should just like turn your employees into more Shawn Kanungos so that
right.
they can be advocates for their own organization instead of hiring this guy to help, which also still has value because
Of course.
I'm a third party coming in.
And you come with your own personal brand
Exactly.
and audience and network. Exactly. Yeah. But okay, so Cisco made an announcement that they want to turn their entire workforce, 84,000 employees into LinkedIn influencers. Everybody.
Wow.
Because they made this statement, they understand the value of every single individual, whether you're an intern or you're an exec, right? Everyone's audience has value.
100%.
Right? And so they understand that. So they made a statement, 84,000 LinkedIn influencers. That's what they want to turn their staff into.
They want to turn 84,000 people into LinkedIn influencers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And obviously it's a huge feat. And when you implement these programs.
What do you think of LinkedIn? What's your take on LinkedIn? I love LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But I also understand the mechanics of LinkedIn a little bit.
Yeah.
Which are the general population thinks LinkedIn's a joke.
Right.
Right? That people are just like, it's a giant signaling exercise.
Yeah.
It's generally very positive. It's not the truth. Like I always see people on Twitter just like roasting people on LinkedIn, and there's tons of people that do broetry on LinkedIn, which is like the space. I know what does, like, that's why I post, I guess, more high quality content on LinkedIn or like high quality video on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Because I know that everyone can see what people are liking and commenting on LinkedIn because it shows up on your feed.
Right.
So, and this is your business page. This is the people that you work with or you're employed to.
Yeah.
So you also want to signal to other people that you are liking and commenting on things that are that like reinforce your brand.
Right.
So I'm not going to post something that looks like doesn't look great. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to post
I hear
something
you.
that somebody else can signal to somebody else. Like, I agree with this message.
Yeah.
It's really weird. It's a weird psychology. And I always see people on Twitter like roasting LinkedIn or Reddit because Reddit is the truth. Twitter is like, it's performative, but it's a little bit more truth.
Yeah.
LinkedIn is just like positive.
Right. Yeah.
Baker.
La La Land.
Yeah.
But I love LinkedIn. But I also understand that there's two types of metrics on LinkedIn. Okay. There's your vanity metrics. There's your likes, your comments, that kind of thing, right? Then there's the business metrics. Okay.
Yes.
And I am almost solely focused on the business metrics side of things. Okay. So I've been a lot more active on LinkedIn in the last, I don't know, couple of months or something. And what I've noticed that I don't get a ton of vanity metrics. Okay. I don't.
Okay.
But I get DMs about this stuff.
100%.
Okay. I get DMs about people that want to ask about what I'm posting, all about employee advocacy, all about Ghosted. And because I understand now also that what I say matters more than what Ghosted says.
Yeah.
Right. And so sure, everybody wants to go viral on the vanity side of things, right? We want 10,000 likes in less than 24 hours and all these shares and comments. But I'm very focused on the business metrics. What gets people messaging me?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And maybe this is a dangerous idea that I believe LinkedIn has the most valuable audience. So what do I mean? So let's say, okay, so I have like 15, 16,000 people on LinkedIn. I believe that every one of those followers on LinkedIn is worth 1,000 people on TikTok, or maybe even like I would trade one LinkedIn follower for 1,000 TikTok.
Yeah.
Because that's a business audience. It's a more economically lucrative follow.
Yeah.
Because that could turn into a sale. It could turn into a business connection. Right. And so to me, LinkedIn is the most valuable audience. I would say it's like LinkedIn, by a long shot.
Yeah.
B, YouTube, because I think if somebody subscribes to you on YouTube, they're there for like, they really, like, it's very hard to get a subscription on YouTube, but they really love you.
They value what you're posting.
They value what you're posting. Then I would say maybe Twitter, then Instagram, then TikTok.
Yeah, okay. So
TikTok is just, you're not even you're just following content.
Yeah.
You're just there to, you don't build affinity towards the person that you're following. You're not there for the person, you're there for the content. It's hard to build trust on TikTok.
So I really want to disagree with you so we can argue a bit. But, But I love LinkedIn. Okay. So I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah.
I love LinkedIn because if you think about the buyer journey.
Yeah.
Right. And everyone is somewhere in a buyer journey. Right. And it doesn't matter what you're selling. You're dealing with people in a buyer journey, whether they're using your company's service from you, whether they're going to buy your book, they're going to watch your special online, they're going to hire you for a talk, they're going to come to one of your talks, like whatever it is. Right. And on LinkedIn, you catch people when they're in the business side of their buyer journey, when they're when they're at work or when they're thinking about work, they're thinking about business. Right, they want other business ideas and this and that. So you catch them at a critical thinking part of their buyer journey. Right, and that's why there's so much value on LinkedIn.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, no disagreement here.
I'm sorry.
So one of the concepts that I talk about a lot is this idea of being a deep generalist, with a specialist focused.
Okay.
So being somebody that has range, that has the ability to not only understand different domains, but but can develop different skill sets, but still be a specialist in their particular field. Like, it's almost like you are a master at a particular craft, but you're constantly becoming this deep generalist and having an understanding and building skills outside of that particular skill, because then you can combine those things together.
Okay.
It's like you are a master chef when it comes to tacos, but you also have an understanding of marketing and how to sell tacos, or you have you have a sense of culture and say, like Japanese culture is on the rise. Maybe there's something that we can mix in with, Japanese culture and our tacos. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, it's being a master of your craft and being a deep generalist. And there's always been a disagreement throughout history around should you be a generalist or should you be a specialist? For example, you have somebody like Leonardo da Vinci. Da Vinci was known as a generalist. Like he could literally do anything. He was an entrepreneur. He was like an engineer. He was an artist. Like he did so many things. He invented so many things. While you have specialists, they're just assassins at what they do. People like Michelangelo, which are just assassins in terms of their ability to paint or whatever it is. Right. And you look at somebody like Tiger Woods, like just a complete assassin when it comes to golf. I don't know what else he's good at. This has always been a debate. Should you be a generalist versus a specialist? And as we're moving into this sort of AI world, what do you think is most important? Being a specialist or a generalist? Or a deep generalist with a specialist focus?
So I think people are going to continue to be valued for very specific skill sets. So I think finding something you're insanely good at and doubling down on it is of utmost importance. Having a general understanding of things that relate to that specialty is obviously important to know how the entire machine works or the entire system works. But I truly believe that specialists are going to be more and more valued as we go further into the future and more AI tech develops and so forth.
Just be world class at a particular thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the most happiness comes from when you are, I don't know if it's the most happiness, but I believe that you can, once you find something that you love and you are completely obsessed about and good at, like there's no stopping you.
Right.
And I think a lot of people are chasing. So I agree with you on that front, right? I meet a lot of people that are trying to find their passion and whatnot. Like just try to find something that you are insanely good at and do.
Yes, exactly. Save your passions for your hobbies and find something you're crazy good at and do that. Double down on that.
Yeah, but what about this idea? This idea of passion? I heard a great quote from Scott Galloway, who says, "Don't follow your passions,"
right?
Which is people who say follow your passions, they've already made their money selling toilets to C companies or something like that. They've already made and they say follow your passion. When they had no passion for that.
Right. Exactly.
So what's your take on follow your passion? Do you think it's bullshit?
That's what I said. Save your passions for your hobbies. If you're passionate about playing pool, then play pool for fun. But find something you're crazy good at and build a business.
So there's a difference between passion and what you're crazy good at.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes passion comes after. Sometimes you find out you're really good at something and you're successful doing that, and then you become more passionate about getting better and better and better at that one specific thing. Right? So passion can, but they are different.
I'm trying to think about this. So you're saying that if I'm insanely good, okay, let's say I'm insanely good at folding clothes.
Okay.
I'm not passionate about it.
Right.
But I should continue to do that because
if you can find something.
No, I just completely disagree with you. If I'm good at folding clothes and I'm not passionate about that, I should not do that for the rest of my life.
But if you're insanely good at it, you should at least start by doing it and build a platform from it. And then let your passions dictate where you want to go.
No, I maybe because I'm wired differently, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't personally do that. I cannot personally. I do not think that I could be good at something without being passionate about it.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
I believe that passion drives world-class, craftsmanship.
Okay.
Like you cannot be a world-class craftsman without passion. And so I disagree with the idea of like I wish I was into real estate, or I wish I was into these things that, that very passively can create income, and you could just sit. And I can't do that.
Right.
I can't fold clothes for 10 hours. I
Yeah.
can't do that.
Yeah.
I just can't.
Right.
I need to be invested in something, and that's just how I'm wired. I do know people that can like fold clothes for $10,000 an hour and just like enjoy their life.
Yeah.
Pay me millions of dollars to fold clothes, I would not do that.
Okay.
But what about you? If somebody pay you millions of dollars just to fold clothes, would you do it?
Well, I'm not good at it, first of all. So if I was really good at it, I would probably do it for a while until I figured out what I'm passionate about and where that will take me.
Right. So maybe we're just wired differently.
I think certain things are a means to an end, and if you can achieve a certain standard of living by doing something you're good at, whether or not you like it, then you do it until you find a way to turn your passion into something big.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, we're gonna continue debating this forever. Listen, one of the things that we do in those podcasts, by the way, we bring in sort of current topics, things that people are, talking about in the news.
Okay.
And one of the interesting things that happened. Do you follow Barstool Sports at all?
Not really.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah, I know what it is. I know what it is. Yeah,
So Dave Portnoy,
Yeah.
he's a founder of Barstool Sports.
Yeah.
He just bought back this company from PENN Gaming, who bought into his company for like $500 million. He bought it back for $1, and basically he sold this company to PENN, and PENN sort of gave it back to him for like $1, just because ESPN made a deal with PENN, and he bought back this company. And what was interesting is that the reason why PENN wanted to originally sign with Barstool Sports is because they want to really get Barstool into gaming. PENN is in the gaming world.
Yeah.
They wanted. You're not interested in this.
No.
Yeah, okay.
keep going.
I find this the most fascinating.
I'm absorbing. Absorbing.
It's funny because I have to explain the story to you and the audience, but I find this as the most fascinating story of the week because Dave Portnoy is he's like, I don't know, he's like a bro legend. He's he's like the old man's Nelk Boys. You know what Nelk Boys are?
Yeah, and he goes around the country eating pizza.
People love Dave Portnoy.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting because PENN originally wanted to partner with Barstool to pump their gambling.
Okay.
And it made sense because Barstool was a media company. They had the gaming, that connection between content and commerce. They thought that business would be a rocket ship.
Right.
And yet it kind of wasn't.
Yeah.
And I've been screaming throughout the years of this intersection between content and commerce.
Okay.
And saying that's going to get tighter and tighter.
Yeah.
But here's an example of where it kind of failed.
Right.
In a sense. So I just think that the whole thing was just fascinating. And it got me to think deeply about, is this content commerce connection really working? Because if I look at what happened with Mr. Beast had this company with it was called Mr. Beast Burger.
Yeah.
So he's the biggest influencer in the world. He launched this company, Mr. Beast Burger, hundreds of restaurants across across North America.
Yeah.
And that also didn't go very well.
Yeah.
Obviously, in other cases, the content and commerce integration works very well. If you look at Kardashian and the Skims, Skims is a multi-billion-dollar company. You look at Kylie Jenner, what she's doing. You look at what Prime and Logan Paul are doing.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful integration. It can work, but it doesn't work. It didn't work in the PENN case.
Right.
And I think when the cost of content is going down to zero, what you really have to sell behind it is commerce.
Right.
But this PENN thing has really questioned how I look at the world.
So I don't think it's as big of a thing as you're making it out to be in your mind.
Okay.
I think it's just an example of something that didn't work.
Right.
It just didn't work.
Right.
But
you still believe in content and commerce working together.
Yeah, I absolutely do. We have clients that's what we do to build their commerce. It's all about content.
Right.
And so, but this is just an example where it just didn't work. I don't think it's that big of a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm just I thought you would be way more of a Dave Portnoy guy.
Yeah.
Dave Portnoy is definitely your style.
Yeah.
He's abrasive.
Yeah.
He's rash. In fact, like his immediately when he bought back the company, he went back into the office and he was like, he went to the office and it was like 10 a.m. He's like, no one's here. Where the hell is everybody? I bought this company and no one is here. What the hell? And then he like wrote a blog post. He said, I got here at 8 o'clock and I just spent the last 2 hours like reading all these people suck my dick about how I bought this company back for $1. He's just like, he's just incredible, like in terms of just being brash and.
Well, I watched him on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yes.
And I'm a fan. I should maybe follow more of what he's doing if you think I'm going to love him that much.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
But by the way, you mentioned that you're into Joe Rogan. Now that is a very controversial statement to make in these woods. That you like Joe Rogan. Part of the reason is because obviously he's very polarizing.
Yeah.
And it's funny because if you listen to Joe Rogan, he's actually very left.
Yeah.
But many people think that he's right. And I will meet people that will say, "Oh, I've listened to this on the Joe Rogan podcast," and they'll be like, "Oh my God, this guy listens to Joe Rogan or whatever," and they automatically paint you in a particular light. So, what do you feel about that?
Well, you and I were at dinner with someone once where they were judging me for listening to the Joe Rogan podcast, and then you asked them specifically, "Have you ever listened? Have you ever listened to Joe Rogan?"
Oh, okay.
And they said no.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And you said, "Well, how can you judge?
Exactly.
You listen to a few pods and then make a judgment." I just really like things that are thought-provoking, okay? Whether I agree with them or not, I love things that are thought-provoking. And I find with the Joe Rogan podcast, he has a lot of very different personalities.
Yes.
Big celebrities, less-known people.
People that are like into like the pyramids, people that are like researching.
Yeah, aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so anything that kind of gets my mind flowing, I basically absorb a lot of B2B content marketing stuff. Okay. Now I absorb a lot of employee advocacy stuff. That's what occupies my mind. So anything that could be kind of outside that realm that just kind of gets my mind moving, I listen to it.
But what would you say to people that say, well, Joe Rogan's got a big platform.
Yeah.
And in some cases, he's spewing information that is either inaccurate or misinformed, and he should understand that he has one of the biggest voices in the room.
He got that platform by expressing the opinions that he expresses.
Right.
Right? That's how it came. So the people that are judging him for it are not his audience. Listen to something else.
Right.
Right? He has the biggest platform in the world, right? And so he got that way by being who he is. He's just being true to himself. And if you're not a fan of Joe Rogan, then don't listen to Joe Rogan. Like I said, there's so much noise on the internet. Go listen to something else.
Yeah.
Go follow someone else, right? You don't have to agree with everybody, but you also don't have to judge people that follow certain people online. Like, that's not a big deal.
Yeah. I am in complete agreement with you on that. And my vantage point has always been to have a wide perspective, you should understand why people are listening to Joe Rogan. You should understand why people are listening to Rachel Maddow or people on the left, people on the right, people like Joe Rogan, people like Jordan Peterson, people that are
PBD, Patrick Bet David,
or Anderson Cooper. You should get a perspective of what people are listening to, because not only will you get connected with other people around you and have those conversations, because these are people that other people are listening to. It's just important to get that perspective, and you don't have to agree with everything that they say. You don't have to agree. Like, I listen to Joe Rogan too, but I don't agree with his stance on the vaccine.
Right.
I don't agree with his stance on his diet. I don't agree with everything that he says. But guess what? I make this analogy with every single person, because, and then it sinks in with them, which is like, look at our parents. We love our parents to death.
Right.
We will do anything for our parents. but they are the most racist people on the planet.
Yeah.
And you can separate if you can love them.
Right.
You're not gonna be like,
Yeah.
Mom, Dad, I can't listen to your racist your stuff anymore.
Yeah.
I hate you.
Yeah.
You could still
Pack
love
my
them.
food to go. Pack my food to go. I'm out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And they don't have I get it. They don't have
Yeah.
a platform.
Yeah.
But in this fragmented digital media landscape, everyone has a platform.
Yeah.
So you can go and get information from anyone. All I'm just trying to say is that you can separate what is right and wrong. We have that ability to do that.
Yeah.
Everyone has that ability to do that. And I always hear people saying, "Oh, like no," but there's lots of people that are like everyone has the ability to do that. I get that there are rabbit holes in the world, and we fall into it, just like how people fall into status traps that we talked about at the beginning. Yes, that can happen, but what we need to do is not focus on, are you listening to Joe Rogan? Are you listening to Jordan Peterson or Anderson Cooper or Don Lemon or whoever it is?
Yeah.
Or are we educating people on how to have critical thinking skills? Are we teaching people how to balance different viewpoints and perspectives in their mind, to debate, to have healthy dialogue, to have a conversation with somebody for 4 hours and not agree with everything that they say, disagree. That's what we should be focusing on. Not if you don't like Joe Rogan, don't judge other people for liking Joe Rogan or whoever whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. That makes perfect sense. I agree with that. You know, the ability to just think and appreciate that not everyone around you has the same mindset, and then being able to actually have that dialogue, have that conversation to understand their mindset, or at least appreciate the fact that they have a different mindset, and you come out of a conversation knowing that other people have different viewpoints than you and there are different perspectives of the world. I mean, that's where the real value in, right? Yeah.
So my thing is that if you don't like somebody, spend the time to understand and deep dive. Like if you don't like Joe Rogan, spend a week listening to Joe Rogan and then make an opinion as to why.
Yeah.
What happens is that many people make an opinion on something because they saw somebody else with higher status in their particular world have an opinion on something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They are basing an opinion off somebody that they value.
Yeah.
With higher status, make an opinion.
Yeah.
And that's just the world. We're just like, we're trying to signal to other people like some sort of value that we have because somebody else has that value.
Right.
It's really weird.
It's kind of ridiculous.
So, listen, I appreciate, and this is the whole idea of the dangerous ideas, because I want to be able to bring concepts that will change people's mind. And also I want to bring concepts that challenge me, that I actually disagree with, because if I can't disagree with my own ideas, then that, to me, that's like a religious belief. Right? If you can't back up an idea with science or facts or whatever, then that's a religious belief that you have.
Yeah,
it's based on nothing.
Yeah.
It's based on just you believing on something.
Right.
And so I believe wholeheartedly in like open dialogue and conversation. That's why this thing is called Dangerous Ideas.
I love what you've built.
Think that I missed during this pod, some of the concepts that I put out to you, anything that I'm missing?
No, I think this has been awesome, and I love what you've built. I love the concept and how we're doing this thing.
It's awesome, man.
And I hope to be back.
Oh, buddy,
yeah,
you will be back, man. You will be back, and I just want to thank you for this, man. You brought this. You brought this very expensive Scotch whiskey. No. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. No, it means a lot, man. It means a lot that you would fly out for the launch of the bold ones. You can check it out right now. Apple TV, Prime in the US, Dish, whole bunch of other places. Thank you, man.
Yeah. Thank you. It's nice to be back on stage with you after quite some time. Around 2002.
2002, yeah. People don't know this, but we were the class historians of Harry Ainley High School. And we actually created basically what the special is now, which is videos and us talking. That's it. Yeah. And that's what it was. Yeah. And that was actually a gateway to a lot of what I'm doing now, right? Performance, videos, like graphics. Like that's a lot of what I do now. So it's funny, like all these things like that, and I started to create films, and all these things add up to what I'm doing now. It's crazy.
Yeah, but even back then, you could tell your personality. We pushed the limits of what the staff of the school were allowing us to say and do.
Right.
We were allotted 12 minutes. We were on stage for like 28 minutes or something.
That's crazy.
Right. We made jokes that they had to proofread everything they crossed off. We still said. So we were bold and innovative back then.
Wow.
And look at us
man.
now.
No, look at us. Well, I appreciate it, man. Dangerous Idea. Subscribe, follow, rate, review. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you on the next episode.